Hey guys, today I'm going to show you something a little bit different here. So Christmas came early for me. I had a dear friend bring this to me this weekend as a gift, and what we have here is we have a 1956 Hammond M3. And I say 1956 because I looked up the serial number, and that's roughly kind of where this one falls when it was manufactured, based off what I saw on the serial number charts. But yeah, my good friend, he actually found this at a church for free, and he went and got it, rented a U-Haul trailer, loaded this thing up, and brought it 2 hours away from where he lives to deliver it to me. Now I tell you, friends don't get much better than that. Just a super great guy. I won't mention his name. I don't know if he wants to be mentioned or not, but you know who you are, and I'm greatly, honored to call you my friend. But I'm also very happy that a lot of people know you, because he's very active, and so I'm not the only one that calls him a dear friend. There's a lot of people out there that call him a dear friend, and just a great guy. But yeah, anyways guys, back to this organ. So he got it from a church, and like I say, it coming from a church, it's actually in really nice shape. And for something from 1956, I'm super impressed. I mean, this is probably the oldest instrument I have, I mean, I'm intrigued by it, both musically, electronically, and the build quality. I mean, just the quality of this thing is just so different from what you see on today's stuff. But it's actually funny, because before I looked up the serial number to really know what this was, because I'm new to organs, I'm not going to lie. I'm very new to organs, but I do know this is the Baby B3, and it has a sound, and I've always been a fan of some of the organ players, like Rick Wakeman plays a mean B3, and then Booker T and the MGs, fantastic, and there's others, but it's kind of one of those things. I hadn't spent much time with one, but I've always been intrigued by them. And so when this one shows up, it's fantastic. I mean, it's inspiring me in different ways than what I've had with synthesizers, because I've spent so many years with subtractive synthesis, which is great. Don't hate it at all, but it is sometimes nice to step back and get something different, because it makes you think differently musically. And so for that reason, I've already kind of been playing with this in just a little bit, and it's very inspiring. It makes you think things differently, because there is no envelope generator on the organ. It's the notes on off, as you can hear, and it actually still works great. But it makes you think differently. But what's also really cool about this, and I'll just give a brief, fact about the organ. It is a form of synthesis. It is an additive synthesizer, and basically what you have, for those that don't know organs, is you have drawbars. So these are all your drawbars here, and basically you got a set for your lower manual and a set for your upper manual, and you're basically mixing sine waves. So as you pull these out, we'll just slide them all in here. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Now one of these is really dirty, but you can hear there's just one tone. We'll bring out another one. So I'm mixing the tones, so if we actually slide those in, so you can hear that one. That's a low one. But basically it's hard to do this one-handed, but basically how you can mix the tones of these sine waves and get different. This is where I gotta clean it. And basically control the amount, and that affects how the harmonics come out of that mix. So it's additive synthesis. But this thing is in just such great shape. I'll take around back here and just kind of show you. So basically what we have here, we have a mechanical vibrato here, which is it's got a scanner, a set of pickups, and it's got a box of inductors and capacitors for filtering, and basically it offsets the time. It's a delay circuit, a mechanical delay circuit. And this is kind of cool too, because it comes back to cars. Working on automotive stuff, you see some of this kind of stuff within a engine, you know, like some of the earlier cars, not today's cars as much, but earlier cars for sure. You definitely sell stuff where you'd have, you know, reluctors and a distributor to make your retard timing if it overheated, or, you know, etc. So it's interesting how this works. So it's got pickups. That's your synchronous motor, this square block here, and what it actually does, it's not self-starting. Now later, I think like the H series had a self-starting synchronous motor, so it actually, what it is basically, it's a capacitor with no set of windings that when you turn it on, that capacitor boosts enough to kick that thing over and get it running on its own. These won't do that. And so what you have to do is you have to go down here, across the tone generators, to this little motor on the end that works like a car starter. And basically, when you turn it on to run, or start, this motor engages. It actually throws the shaft out, and it engages into a gear to get it up to speed. And once this thing's up to speed, then you can start this motor, and this motor here takes over, and then the armature actually kicks back out of this motor. So it works very similar to like a starter and a solenoid of a starter, and how that works. But yeah, in here, this is all the tone generators. And basically, for those that don't know what a tone generator is, it's a wheel that spins with a pickup, and you get a frequency off those wheels because they run at different ratios of speed. And think of it like picking a guitar string over a pickup, but instead of having a string, you have a wheel that's rotating over the pickup itself. It's kind of how that works. And then we got the amplifier section, which is all tube based. And something that's really cool about this is it actually still has the Hammond oil model in it, which is pretty. And you can see how long it was setting. You can see exactly where it was setting. So just really cool. It's got a field coil speaker, not a fixed magnet speaker, which is kind of interesting. Didn't know those really existed till I got this thing. And I will show you the back panel here that was on it. So this is the back panel. This is the cover for the tone wheel generator. And you can see here that the serial number is 70905. And just a really cool, just really cool. So what would happen is when you have this cover on, you have these little oil reservoirs here you put oil in. Now it's not made to hold the oil, it's just like a little funnel basically. And what it does, it fills up, it goes in here and goes into these little funnels here, and it goes down to a trough with sponges in it. And there's like little fabric, like little strings that go down to the bearings and lubes all the bearings within the tone wheel generator. A good example of that is right here. We've actually got one right here for the synchronous motor. I've got to fix this one though. The threading has been pulled out, so it's not actually connected to the bearing down there anymore. But what this would do is it would actually, you'd put oil in this, it would collect in the sponge, and the sponge would actually, it would wick out of this fabric down to the bearings. That's how that works. And so it'd keep all the bearings lubed and keep them running happy. I've actually been playing with a tone wheel generator out of H series organ, kind of making a tone wheel synthesizer, which I hadn't talked much about it. We'll have some videos on that later. But it's actually got a bad bearing because somebody ran it without oil, and it wore the bearing out for one of the tone wheels. And so now when you plug it in, it squeals. It's got one tone wheel that squeals. So what I have to do right now, I'm not worried about it, so I just stop it. But it is a problem. But anyways, guys, I just want to take a minute here and show you the new a new Christmas gift here that I'll be cleaning up and working on. What I love about this organ though is since it's from a church, it's really unmolested. There's not been any kind of stuff done to it that's just super modified. I will be adding a 1/4 inch out to it. I don't have a Leslie cabinet, unfortunately, so I might eventually try to track down a Leslie cabinet, just a smaller Leslie. Or what I'm thinking for right now though is just run the emulation with like a. I've been looking at the ventilator pedal. I think those look pretty nice. But for now I'm just going to get myself familiar with the organ and focus on this as a unit before I focus on anything else. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Just want to show you the new project here outside the Z-Car and other synthesizer projects and all that good stuff. But yeah, I'm super thrilled to have a real Hammond M3 organ, and it's just a fantastic looking organ. But anyways, guys, thanks again, and there'll be more to come. Take care.